Hey, good morning, good afternoon or good evening, depending on when you're watching this video, which place you are in the world. My name by birth is Alex William Smith, but better known to many of you as Jonathan Royle of www.ultimatehypnosiscourse.com and www.magicalguru.com. What follows are some edited highlights of a feature-length interview that I did some months ago with the master of future life progression, Anne Jirschch. And these are the things you need to pay attention to if you would like to take the world's greatest accredited hypnotherapy training at the most affordable price that will give you the biggest amount of tools that work consistently in the real world. Watch the interview, or at least these highlights that follow, and then contact Anne for a deal that could change your life.
Okay, so today I'm sitting here. Now, what do I call you today? Alex or Jonathan? What's your name today, fella?
Whichever you feel most comfortable with. I'm Alex by birth.
I think I'll call you Alex. Right, I'm going to throw a load of questions at you, if that's okay. But I've just kind of got a few, one or two.
You can throw whatever you want at me, Anne. The worst case scenario is I merely go, I do not know the answer.
Okay, great. Good. Let me have a look. What have I got here? Okay, I'll start with some sort of a breakdown of prices. And I came off the pages because I weren't on any of the pages for years. Then one of my assistants went, oh, you should be on them. Went on them, and I couldn't believe the aggression. Do you know, I heard that two of them had actually had a fist fight at a hypnosis convention, actually punching each. It's just...
Yes, I've heard of such. Well, yeah, I'm aware of such things. It's incredibly sad. And you know, a random piece of advice to anyone who watches this: the best thing you can do is not be in all these hypnotherapy, mind therapy groups.
I've come out of them.
Well, be very selective anyway if you are going to be in them. If it's a group where you've regularly got people asking who were supposed to have been trained by people who are supposed to know what they're doing, and they're posting up, oh, I've got a client for XYZ coming in next week, has anyone got any suggestions on how to deal with it? If it's that kind of group, get out of it. Because here's the thing: if you've been taught properly in the first place and truly taught what hypnosis, Tibetan mind control, NLP, EMDR, TFT, it doesn't matter what you call it. If you've been taught truly and honestly what it genuinely is and how it truly works, when it does work, there's nothing that works 100% of the time with 100% of the people, and anyone telling you that, run away from them straight away. But if they've told you truthfully how it works and you truly understand the building blocks, then you will never need to ask anyone how to deal with any problem from A through to Z, because you will understand that all problems at their root are identical.
Yeah.
How they manifest, the symptoms that are produced, or how they manifest in the world to observers, can look very different indeed.
Yeah.
But what is causing them deep down is that somewhere that human being has had in their lifetime an imbalance or a knock on one or more of the way they feel loved, wanted, needed, appreciated, cared for, cherished, or valued. And they all sound very much identical, but they're not if you get a thesaurus. They all mean very different things. Some relate to self-esteem, some relate to self-confidence, some to self-control, aka willpower, some to self-respect. And if there's been a blip in any of them at any point in their upbringing, generally from birth to around teenage years, I know Sigmund Freud and most psychologists say the formative years are 0 to 7. In my experience and observation, I believe it's more from birth to about teenage years. Then we tend to freeze, and psychologically we're all really teenagers deep down.
Yeah.
Some of us repress that, and by repressing the fact that deep down we're still teenagers and we've got our inner child, end up making problems worse for ourselves, which is why it can quite often be very therapeutic to, it sounds a bit winky wanky, but get in touch with your inner child, the real you, and balance things out. But if there's been a knock-on effect in any of those things, it might not have caused a massive deal when they were young, but when they grow up, because there's an imbalance in one of them, and thus an imbalance in their self-confidence, self-esteem, self-control, or self-image, if there's an imbalance in any of them, it will have an imbalance on their self-respect, self-worth, self-love, or positive selfishness, as I call it, because you've got to have a level of selfishness. You've got to be selfish to be selfless. Like on the aeroplane with the oxygen mask, you've got to stick yours on first so you don't pass out, so that you can then get your kids on. If you put the kids on first, you could pass out and not get all the kids on. So sometimes you've got to be selfish to be selfless.
Oh yeah, you've got to look after yourself. That's how can you, it's like the people that never want to make any money and they live in poverty. If you make a bit of money, you can look after your family, you could help somebody else out, you know, it makes a, I think one of the reasons I come out the groups is mainly the aggression. It was jarring, it was quite a shock to me. But the other thing was, there were seriously people coming on just saying, has anybody got a script for bipolar? Yeah. And you're going, well, no, you're referring to a specialist. I actually, I don't do so much hypnosis these days, obviously, because I'm so busy with the future life progression work. That's really busy. I do some work with addictions because I like working with addictions. But I don't know, I like to refer people on because every so often somebody will pop into my head and I'll think they're better at that than me, or that's their specialist area. Rather than me trying to do millions of different things, I sometimes somebody will pop into my head and I like to refer people on. That's why I don't teach it. You're a better teacher of all this than what I would be. So what's the point of me teaching it? And people have asked me to teach hypnosis because obviously look, let me just show you. This is my original certificate. You can't even see, you can't see the date. Oh, this is the very first. Can't see my name or the date or anything.
No, it's faded, hasn't it?
Because it was so bloody long ago. I'm an old girl, Alex, so it's that long ago. And the woman that trained me, I can't remember her name now, but she was attached to Kingston University and she was old school, but she was very, very good.
Oh, you did the same course as Paul McKenna.
Did I? Did he go to her?
Possibly, I think, at the hospital. Mandy Langford.
No.
No? All right.
No, that one. No. I'm trying to remember her name. It was so long ago. It was really a long time ago. Most of the hypnotherapists today were in short trousers back then, but she was thorough. She developed a lot of new techniques. She was good, and that was my first. I've got other certificates, and after I spoke to you, this is the lovely hypnotherapy register, and I've got a few others. Again, what's the date on that? 2001. So it's the last time I ever had. They drove me mad.
Think of all the money you saved not paying the yearly membership fees.
Oh, I bowed out of all of them because I was getting letters about their arguments. They were going, seriously, it was just them arguing, going, oh, so-and-so has been pushed off the committee. You know, when people get in a committee and they suddenly go a bit mad. And I just come out of order. So they're all going in the bin. I've got a few of them. There's another one, Hypnotherapy Register, Hypnotherapy Association.
Rules. What's the need for rules, right? Well, as long as people operate in a manner where the only rules or laws should be common sense and should be humanity, in the sense that if you follow health and safety rules and duty of care rules to ensure that your client is safe psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, physically, everything, both to do with whatever therapeutic approach you're using and also to do with making sure they can't trip over the carpet in your office. I mean, on every level. If you're dealing with those things, which you should anyway, because it is law and it is a criminal and or civil offence, depending on which one we're talking about, not to. If you're doing that, then you don't need a set of rules from a so-called professional body or society, because the truth is that the health and safety and duty of care laws are way above any of the rules they give. And the ones that these societies give are restrictive to you actually being able to make money, be successful, and actually being flexible enough to adapt what you do to make it like a laser guided missile to each individual client. They put you in a kind of a prison cage.
It's restrictive. Yeah.
You know, they'll have rules. You can't be a stage hypnotist and be a member of this hypnotherapy society.
well, the other one that got me is they come up with these rules. If you want to run an advert, we've got to run it past them. As if they can write a good advert. I mean,
exactly.
why have I got to run it past these sad little people that don't do much work? When I come from that background, I've got to run it. And the other thing is, you're not allowed to use testimonials. One, it's my business. I'm running my adverts through you. Two, testimonials are one of your greatest tools. So,
yeah.
So that's all going in the bin. I might keep the frames, but the certificates are going in the bin. They're only dusty.
The glorified boys clubs, that the people at the top, they say they're non-profit organisations, well, people at the top are making a profit, not necessarily financially, but they do in terms of inflating their ego, because we've got control. We can dictate what's done. Well, you know what? How's about you actually get out there and start bloody treating clients and getting some level of real world success.
The members, they don't support. They just tell the members what they can't do. I found it restrictive, but I literally joined one, and a week later there was a letter from the founder going, "Oh, they're pushing me out, and I don't know why." Then I got a letter from the committee going, "We don't," and I just thought, I don't even know you people. Why are you writing? Anyway, forget them. They're going in the bin. They were up on a shelf, actually. I've never, ever put them on my wall.
It really gets my goat, they do, because they charge you a yearly fee. And apparently, that means you'll be on their website and it'll help you get your clients. And don't get me wrong, I know some people who are members of these things and they do get some clients out of it. But you know what? The kind of level that they're charging for clients, these people, I won't get out of bed for. And it sounds... I hate to sound big-headed, but there's a few things. Number one, if you were sat there with a client and somewhere at an unconscious level, you might not consciously be aware of it, but in the back of your mind, you're thinking, well, I hope I get some more clients booked in next week or before the end of the month because I've got the mortgage payments, I've got the kids' private school fees. Then you are frankly being unethical and immoral in my world because you are not giving 100% to that client. You should be charging enough and advertising yourself in a manner where you're turning clients away. So you don't have to sit there in the back of your mind at an unconscious level thinking, how do I pay the bills? You are totally in that moment doing that which you're supposed to be doing, giving 100% to your client. So and most of these courses and the courses are bad because they don't teach marketing, or if they do, it's so outdated and useless, it's ridiculous. The organizations, they don't have a clue. Most of the people running them, the only thing they know how to market is to get members into an organization. They don't actually know how to get high-paying therapy clients, sell the sizzle, the result. You're not selling an hour of your time as a hypnotherapist or whatever you want to call yourself. You're selling this new life to the person where, because they're no longer scared of flying, they can accept that promotion or that would take them overseas several times a year and provide extra income to their family. So it's not just an hour of your time where you've been brainwashed to believe you can only charge 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. If you get really confident, 100, 120 quid. No. This could be worth thousands of pounds a year to that person every year for the rest of their life. Plus quality of life improving because they're able to go abroad with the family. Surely that's got to be worth 500 quid, £1,000.
With these, as I say, I pass on more hypnotherapy clients than I take. And I think it's because there's other people, or sometimes I get somebody in my head and think they're going to be better at dealing with that than me, And so I do regularly pass. And
that's brilliant because you're being authentic. The fact is you've got the skills to be able to deal with anything. But you have got your niche, and by having a niche in itself has made you the expert in that niche, and because of that it becomes an ever-growing thing that you get more and more. I hate winky wanky NLP phrases. You get more of what you focus on, but it is kind of true. And so your energy is far better spent and more effective doing what you are the market leader at.
I think so. I'm not good with anxiety and depression and stuff. I'm just not. But my youngest daughter's brilliant with it. So I'd rather she's brilliant. I don't connect with it. Bereavement, I don't, but I know people that are brilliant with bereavements. There's areas that I just think I don't think I'm the best one for that. I think sometimes you've got to be a bit honest with yourself. I'm good with addictions. I'll get addictions. and all that zooming around in time is definitely my thing. But there's a whole load of stuff that I don't get. So what have I got here? What questions?
Yeah, just because you're good at something or can do it doesn't necessarily mean you should.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, when you train in the early days, you learn all of it, don't you? Fears, phobias, blah, blah, blah. But I can feel, I kind of sometimes think, yeah, that isn't my strongest point. Somebody else gets better results. And morally, it's wrong to try and do it yourself. Let me have a look. Right, so I've got one of your courses. And I do really like it, but it's straightforward. I find a lot of hypnosis these days, they just give it a stupid name and complicate things, and it's a lot of woo-woo, and I'm not good. I work in a bit of a spiritual field. I'm not good with woo-woo. I think there's far too many courses out there. There's far too many hypnotherapists. They're not getting work. I'm seeing well-seasoned hypnotherapists have to go and get a part-time job because they're not earning. Yeah, it is. Some of them are good, but I think there's a lot of people that have, and it's sad for me when I see somebody all excited, they're training something, go out there and they haven't got clients, and it's not working because there's this magic woo-woo, you're going to jump into the 5th dimension and grow a new head and blah, blah, blah. And then it don't happen, then they're upset. So your stuff works for me because it's straightforward. It is just, and you give a ton of information, but it's straightforward. I'm finding a lot of hypnotherapy pretentious, very pretentious these days. They give, people are studying so hard to try and prove how important and clever they are, rather than just go and do a bloody good job. I remember years ago, I won't name the guy, but he was in a next office to me. He's actually quite a name now in hypnosis, but he was quite upset because I said it's a very simple process, and that really upset him because he wanted to be important and complicated and a big shot. So your courses, tell me what you're offering. Tell me what you're offering people, because I've got one of your courses and I haven't even got through a quarter of the information. There's a ton of it. It's very easy for me to dip into and learn a bit, and I'm learning from it. Okay,
we've obviously talked before we put this video together to release to people. What I've agreed to do for your students, for your friends, for your colleagues, the people that know you, that contact you. So don't contact me, people. I mean, you can. I'm not saying never contact me. If you contact me, I will answer messages. I do. I'm not one of those people who I'm too good for you.
Yeah.
Rubbish to that. What I'm saying in terms of this offer, to grasp this opportunity, contact and directly. I put together a thing that I call the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp. Now, that implies by its title that it's just hypnosis. And there's also that oxymoron that I say hypnosis doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So just to elaborate a little bit, what it is a members area where you get a link to a website. You get a username that's unique to you and a password. You can log into the members area. Now, you can choose to study things online, or you can download it so it's on your computer and then you don't have to be on the internet when you're watching it. Entirely up to you, or any device you want. It's so that the flexibility of choice and control is in your hands. But I have put into that members area everything that I personally have ever found of worth and use over the past 30 years. Everything I've ever taught, every live course I've ever done, including ones where people paid thousands of pounds to attend, was filmed. Now, many years ago, they were filmed very amateurishly, and the actual visual quality of the video is pretty dire, I'll be honest with you. But you can see perfectly well what you need to see. You can hear the sound qualities well enough that you can hear, and you can definitely learn what you need to. Now, in more recent years, we've had broadcast quality television cameras filming the events, but in terms of the content, that is what matters. There is everything that I've ever used in my career is taught inside that bootcamp, and I mean everything to do with stage hypnosis, street hypnotism, hypnotherapy, NLP, tapping meridian therapies, EMDR style techniques. I mean, you name it, any psychological talking therapy you can think of, psychotherapy, regression to cause hypnosis, doesn't matter what name you give it. Once you're taught the truth of the building blocks
Yeah.
And you understand what the building blocks are and how to reassemble them in different formations, you don't need a new set of Lego. You just need to put it together in a different way. You've got all the tools. And that's what the boot camp is, all the tools. But not just for the learning, the psychological stuff, because I also, for those who are interested, we also go into the dark areas of mind control. Some might call it conspiracy theories, but I do actually go into exactly how to get people to do things they would never do that's against their morals and their character. And we go into so-called MK Ultra mind control stuff, which some people think of as conspiracy theories, but in there I go into stuff that I can factually prove, because I've been involved in stuff in an ethical, moral manner with media companies in the past.
Yeah.
I was briefly, a lot of my stuff that's in the boot camp has been bought by a company in the past called Objective Productions that made a lot of Derren Brown's TV shows. And a lot of my information and stuff that you can learn in the boot camp, such as getting somebody to leave their arm in a bucket of ice for much longer under hypnosis than they would normally. It's nothing to do with hypnosis. It's a trick, but it's a psychological trick that the person you do it on comes to believe they've been hypnotized. And thus, at that point, you've kind of taken over their mind and you get them to do anything. And you can see online, if you search for Derren Brown, the assassin, the TV program where he made somebody apparently kill somebody through mind control. Yeah. Or you can search in America for Tom Silver, Hypnotized to Kill, I think it's called, off the top of my head. Similar thing that was done after Derren's show. Some of the roots of what you see in those shows are what's taught in my materials that Derren's production company obtained. I'm the backroom boy for a lot of the big people in this business.
Yeah.
You're going to get all of the stuff on the techniques. You will never need to do a training course in any psychological talking therapy, nothing to do with hypnosis, whether it's for stage or therapy. You'll never need to do any EMR courses, tapping courses. Doesn't matter what title they're given. If it's to do with psychological mind therapies, holistic therapies, or complementary alternative medicine, it's all taught inside the boot camp. You never need to spend another penny again.
So guaranteed. All these £3,000 courses, all these £3,000 courses that I see heavily advertised,
they're to rip people off. That's why they have a beginner's course. Then they have, like, you know, your master prac and your advanced, and then quite often they'll try and get you to do a trainer so you can go away and teach other people, which is nonsense, because that's a lot of the problem. A lot of the people out there teaching have done that route, and then they've gone out and realised that they weren't taught enough about marketing to get therapy clients.
Yeah.
So to supplement their income, they start doing courses, and they're the blind leading the blind. Yeah. They're teaching the same outdated nonsense that doesn't work as well as it could do to other people just to stay in business.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have no place teaching other people. Do background research on these people. How many thousands of clients have they actually seen?
Yeah.
How many a week are there still, you know?
I love it, because there's a whole lot. I mean, if they get your course, they've just got, I mean, people are forever spending money on courses, and they don't need to. You can just take this. And I've had your course, I think about 3 years now. I don't think I'm a third of the way through it. Every so often I dip in.
You never meant to. And now let me tell you, people watching, there is more stuff in the bootcamp members area than you will ever have time to study or will ever need. But the reason for that is because when I state you'll never need to spend another penny again, it's because I know what's in the bootcamp. But here's the thing. There's one set that when you log into the members area, it says, watch this first. There is an 11.5-hour video training set. I guarantee anyone who watches that will learn more than they've learned from any course that's cost them any amount of money. Even if you spend 10 grand on training, you'll learn more just from those first 11.5 hours alone. After that, you then will be encouraged to find your niche, your specialist area, because that is the easiest way to make more money than most therapists ever dream of. And that's the bootcamp heavily has stuff on how to put yourself on the map, as I call it. MAPP, marketing, advertising, publicity, and promotion. They are the keys. A, to you making money. And B, to putting the client in the right frame of mind So it's practically guaranteed to work for them when they step through the door.
Listen, the course is absolutely packed with information, and I think there's a lot of people that haven't got thousands and thousands to keep taking all these courses that I'm hearing not good things about. So I think, you know, people can be at home, they can dip into it, they can keep learning, keep growing. They don't have to keep spending 40. I'm going to be a bit cheeky now. I was going to ask you to do just a mini session on me.
Of course.
All right. I don't often get stressed, but I actually noticed, and I've worked from that first lockdown, I worked solid, and I've absolutely, even when you weren't allowed on the road, I come into the office 6 days a week, long hours, and I've worked really hard. And I felt it caught up with me a little bit. And I'll tell you how it affected me, my concentration. I've got good concentration, but I've definitely noticed it's not as good as it was. So I was going to say, and I never want to be a relaxed person. I'm not. Okay. I'm quite hyper, and I like being hyper, but I've noticed my head being a bit stressy, and that isn't good.
Okay. Well, I mean, the first thing is, as you already know, but for anyone watching or listening, you don't have to be relaxed is not necessary for so-called hypnosis to work, for starters. It's the stereotypical outcome that people expect, but it actually isn't necessary. That is why you can see people at political rallies who are mega hyper shouting and religious, you know, like religious meetings, praise the Lord. They're in a kind of hypnotic state, arguably, and yet they're not relaxed. So let's, for the people watching, we'll push that fallacy out of the way. What I'll do a couple of processes with you. Normally, where I've seen somebody one-to-one, I normally book them in. There's no need to as such, but I book them in for at least a 1 hour session. And the reason for that is because people are already preconceived to the idea of a true expert in their world is like a private medical consultant or a solicitor or somebody like that who charges by the hour or part thereof. So although it is quite possible within 5 or 10 minutes to eliminate somebody's phobia positively and permanently, as long as they believe in that possibility, you can, by virtue of saying it can be done in that 5 or 10 minutes, fine if you're going on TV and you need to do that for publicity, but on a one-to-one level, people can feel rushed. And because the human beings, they don't necessarily realize consciously, but at an unconscious level, there was some sort of imbalance in those things we talked about before. At some time, what they really want is to feel loved, wanted, needed, appreciated, cared for, cherished, and valued. So that will then allow them to even out and heighten the positive levels of self-confidence, self-image, self-esteem, self-control. So the knock-on effect is they will learn to love themselves, respect themselves, and value themselves, and to feel whole. Because when there's any imbalance, that's why people it felt like something was missing. That's why they turn to religion, or they turn to going to becoming a gym fanatic. But in other areas of their life, they feel almost that imposter syndrome. When you can fill that gap, but fill it in a manner where you value yourself, you love yourself, you respect yourself, then everything else kind of starts to fall into place and become a whole bunch easier to deal with. And I always say to clients, just as I'm going to say to you, but you already know, but I'm saying this for the benefit of the viewers. I'm not trying to teach my grandmother to suck eggs, as the saying goes. So please don't take offense that I'm stating things that you forgot about years ago because you also take it for granted and know it. But the thing is, too many therapists, as you've already alluded to, they're caught up in that ego bit of, I'm doing something special. Well, you are. You know, one of the most special things you can do is listen sometimes. And that's why Chad Vera, the founder of the Samaritans, one of his famous sayings was, don't just do something, sit and listen. Which is where I think then the saying a problem shared is a problem half came from, which has a lot of truth in it, but a few flaws as well. Anyway, diverting slightly there. The point being, I'm honest with people and I tell them, look, only you can make this right.
Right.
But sometimes life has flicked up trees and bushes that metaphorically are the problems, stresses, tensions, worries, or baggage, or outside nonsense coming from all different directions into your path. And it gets to a point that there's so much of that blocking that you can't see that the solution is you are your own solution. You hold the key to everything. You know, that's why millions and billions of dollars worth of self-help books and law of attraction books go on sale worldwide. And even some of your own books that are bestsellers, which are excellent books. Anyone who's not read Anne's books yet, get on Amazon, type in Anne Jirsch and get her books. But you know what? Reading them is going to achieve absolutely sweet FA for you. Unless you take action, that's the key word, on what wisdom, knowledge and experiences is contained within the pages. Too many people read The Secret and think it's just magically going to happen. No, you have to have some
I've had these
action.
conversations with people when think something's going to drop out the sky. It actually, you've got to put in, and one of the leading best-selling self-help guys said, get my book and just do an exercise over and over and over again. Work it, actually feel it, live it. Don't just read it and go, oh, I read that, now I want magic to happen. Because, yeah, no, I totally get it, yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, you already have all the answers within, but sometimes things cloud us and we just need a bit of a spring clean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Essentially. So I'm gonna do a couple of processes with you, and they're gonna hopefully, I mean, to you, you're probably going to be quite familiar with them. So it's better, you know, when you do these on a member of the public, you might not be, might surprise you. When you do this on a member of the public, generally speaking, Lord, they don't know what's coming or they've never experienced it before. So it's more likely to make them smile or laugh or think, what is this nutter doing? And that's what I want them to do, because when you can create a little bit of a state of confusion or disorientation with the conscious mind, it helps the so-called critical faculty, analytical area, to basically go, what's going on? Oh, you know what? My job's supposed to be to help out and protect you, but I've had enough of this. I'm going having a rest. And thus meaning that then we can get into your personal laptop computer and reprogram the negative files or install, metaphorically, antivirus software for the brain, which is the winky wanky phrase I like to use with members of the public, because I don't know, they just seem to like it. So what I'd like you to do, firstly, because we're doing this virtually, is be aware that you're not going to be in some mind-controlled zombie state anyway. So if for any reason the internet connection was to be lost, all that would happen is, after a minute or two, or whenever felt completely right for you, that you'd be able to open your eyes and you'd be fully alert and normal in every way. If a fire alarm was to go off at your end, again, if an emergency was required, you would be able to just open your eyes and calmly and safely do what is required. So that's worth bearing in mind. The other thing is that you are fully in control at all times. That's the key. A lot of human beings forget and they think, oh, life actually just got out of control for me. But the truth is you're always in control. It's just sometimes we forget that. So you're going to be in control at all times. If you wanted to open your eyes, you could. However, if you choose to keep your eyes tightly closed at all times, unless I say otherwise in a few moments, then for you, that outcome of getting what you want to be the way it needs to be for you can just happen more rapidly. So with that in mind, Anne, I'd like you to take a nice deep breath in through your nose and then out through your mouth, and continue to breathe deeply and regularly in through your nose and then out through your mouth. And in a few moments, you should continue to breathe deeply and regularly, ensuring that you're sat in that chair in a manner where you are calm, safe and secure, okay? Where you're firm and steady, safe in that chair. In a few moments, with each breath that you take, every noise that you hear, every word that I say and every thought that you think, you can just allow it to be a sign and a signal, just as rapidly as you feel is right for you, to notice that all the little muscles around your eyelids start to become so heavy and so tired, almost as though they become like loose, limp relaxed ragdolls, just flopping down, drifting down, sinking down, calmly, safely, and securely in a way that feels completely right for you. In a way where you're fully in control at all times, and you know that you could regain control whenever you want to, giving you that safety and peace of mind to allow yourself to just rapidly drift down further and deeper and more relaxed with every breath that you take, every noise that you hear, every word that I say, and every thought that you think, merely serving as a sign and a signal to help you relax more completely, because I'm going to count backwards from 10 down to 1. And as I do, in your mind's eye, in a way that feels right for you, and it doesn't matter whether you see it in glorious technicolor or you're just thinking the words, or if it's just that you're hearing me say the words and you allow your mind to wander free and think of being in a place in the world that brings you joy, happiness and freedom. Or a place in your mind, body and spirit that brings you joy, happiness and freedom. Or thinking of a memory of achievements of the past that made you feel so calm, relaxed, so proud and content inside. It doesn't matter what you think of, just so long as you let your mind wander free right now and think of all those positive, fantastic, wonderful achievements that you've made in your life on so many occasions. And those wonderful, fantastic times spent with loved ones, family and friends that just made you feel free, made you feel calm and relaxed and living in the moment, feeling fantastic right now. When nothing bothered you, worried you or concerned you as it may have once done in the past, because you're there in that moment and it feels so bright and vibrant and fantastic in every nerve, fiber, tissue and muscle in your body. From the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers, it's almost as if it's like on the count of 10. A strange but comfortable, calm, safe and secure feeling of warmth and relaxation starts to move around your body, moving through each and every muscle group, helping on the count of 9 with every breath, each muscle group to kind of all those stresses and tensions and worries and fears and apprehensions of days and weeks, months and years gone by, as you imagine untying the knots of those muscles and I mean metaphorically becoming single pieces of rope, becoming so limp, so loose, so relaxed, so heavy and so tired. So in turn, it's a sign and a signal that in genuine reality right now, you can taste, smell, see, feel, and hear everything in a way that makes you feel happy, calm, content, on top of the world and fully in control in every way. It feels so good on the count of 8 to realize that you've always been in control and you can always be in control when you just take those few moments out to reconnect with yourself. Because it's almost as if on the count of 8, there's that feeling of, for some people, it's a warmth of relaxation. For others, it's a tingly feeling. It's different for everyone. Whatever's right for you is right for you because you're in control of this. As on 7, with every breath that you take, every noise that you hear, every word that I say, and every thought that you think, serving further as a sign and a signal to more rapidly, safely, calmly, and enjoyably and pleasurably help you just to let go right now of all those stresses, tensions, worries, fears, and apprehensions of days, weeks, months, and years gone by. Any residue of negativity that may have been hiding in the deepest corners of your unconscious, subconscious mind. It's like you're having a massive spring clean, and it just feels good to kind of wash them away. And if you want, if you feel now is the time to do it, you can imagine on the count of 6 that you are imagining kind of a grid by a pavement or a sidewalk, if you prefer, where the rainwater would run away. But in your mind's eye, what you can imagine right now, using your powers of intelligence, imagination and concentration so effectively, is that any negative residue of those things of the past that may have been holding you back, that were stored away in the deepest corners of your unconscious or subconscious mind. Imagine you perhaps, I don't know, you might want to use a hose pipe, other people might use a jet wash. You might use one of those things for watering plants, but you can spray water, a cleansing, healing, rejuvenating water into all those deepest crevices and corners to clean away, to wash away, to flood away any negativity or any of those stresses, worries, fears, apprehensions or tensions of days, weeks, months or years gone by. And imagine that water starting to get dirty as it washes away all the negativity. And notice how good it feels just to watch that water start to move towards that grid, that drain in your mind, and then to disappear down the drain so that it's gone completely, so that it's been removed completely. So it's been washed away, cleaned away, removed positively, permanently, calmly, safely and securely for you in a way that feels right, in a way that is right. Because on 6 and 5, you realize with every breath that you take, every noise that you hear, every word that I say and every thought that you think, that it's just a sign and a signal that having let go completely right now of anything that was holding you back, anything that was causing any little negative doubt, anything that was distracting your attention, you realize that you can regain control right now. And indeed, as you do, I'd like you to imagine as the image of that drain where all the negativity is washed away positively and permanently begins to fade away in your mind's eye. So in turn, a new image starts to appear of a door. And on this door, it's almost as if there's a sign that says control room. Because this is the control room to your mind, to your body, to your spirit, to your soul, to every nerve fiber, tissue and muscle within you. This is the control room. And on the count of 4, I'd like you to imagine approaching that door, taking hold of the handle, opening the door and walking into the control room of your mind and of your body. This is truly your time to take control fully, calmly and safely. And in your mind's eye, turn around and notice that there is a whole big control panel. It's different for everyone. Some people see buttons, some people see dials, some people see levers, some people see computer screens, some see buttons, some see sliders. Some people see a mixture of it all. Whatever is right for you is right for you because that is your reality. There's no rights, there's no wrongs, there's only your reality right now. And as you experience your reality right now, I'd like you to notice that as you look around, you'll be able to become aware that one of those switches or buttons or sliders or dials or knobs, whatever it is for you, is not in the right position currently. Somehow, the events of everyday life have managed to turn the dial down so that you were getting a bit distracted or a bit overwhelmed by things or stressed out to a greater degree by things than you would have normally done in the past when that dial or button or slider had been in the correct place that it had previously been. So just take a few moments to notice where that button or that slider or that switch or whatever it is for you is. If you look around, you'll see there's one that it just looks different. It's not in the right place. You just know. And when you found that, just nod your head. That's fantastic, Anne. Because on the count of 3, let's take another nice deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, just feels so fantastic to know that when I click my fingers like this, on the count of 2, which I will in a moment, I want you to reach forward to that button, that slider, that dial, whatever it is for you, and either switch it on if it was switched off, or slide it to the right position, or turn it to the right position. Basically, reposition it to where it needs to be so that you can regain that level of control, composure, and the you that you were before you noticed those inconsistencies. So it can be back to the way you want it to be. And in fact, if you want, whilst you're at it, you can set it a little bit more in the positive direction so it's even better than it was in the past. So it makes it even easier for you moving forward. That might be a cool idea while we're at it. So 1, 2, 3, just take a few moments right now on the count of 2 to turn that, slide that, or push that, whatever it is you need to do, to a position where you know it starts to feel so fantastic and wonderful inside that you've regained control over these things. And once you know that you've got it to a place that's right for you, if you want, you can tweak it and turn it up a little bit more. But once you know you've got it to a place that's right for you, we need to ensure that it can never drop below this ever again in the future. So in whatever seems the wackiest, best way for you, whether that's taking a big, massive, giant super glue gun, or whether it's the world's biggest staple gun, or whether it's taking a hammer and nail and nailing it in place, or getting a concrete mixer and concreting that control in place, whatever feels right for you, so that you know that it can never drop below that level, so that you know that any unexpected events in everyday life cannot unexpectedly knock it down, so that you will always have instant access as an automatic reflex action to those levels of willpower, self-control, concentration, relaxation, and composure, as and when you need them as an automatic reflex action. Just do whatever you need to right now in your mind's eye to lock, glue, weld, cement, bolt, fix positively and permanently and safely in place everything that needs to be fixed in place. And when you know you've done that, which I believe you have, because I can see you nodding your head, that's fantastic. And on one, realizing that now you've done that, you need to now come out of the control room in a way that feels calm, safe, and secure for you. And obviously to lock that door so you know that only you, the bearer of the key, can choose if you ever want to re-enter that room in a calm, safe, and secure manner. But you know that you've got the safety that no one else can get in there. Not even a master lock picker, because you can imagine boarding up that door if you want, or padlocking it with the world's most amazing, most complicated safety lock. Whatever you choose is something that you know only you could ever regain entry to, calmly, safely, securely, and easily, whenever you should ever choose to, but that nobody else can ever mess with. That's fantastic. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. We counted backwards from 10 down to 1. I'm now going to count from 1 up to 10. And on the count of 10, and only on the count of 10, then and only then, I'd like you to open your eyes, and you'll come back to the here and now in a way that feels right for you. But notice that as we begin our journey back to the here and now, you regain and retain, you keep at all times those positive changes within you. As on 1, all those positive changes start to positively, permanently, calmly, safely, and securely flood every nerve, fiber, tissue, and muscle in your body, from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers, so you can feel like a renewed you. 2, feeling so fantastic inside. 3, knowing that you firmly, positively, safely, calmly taken full control again. And on 4, realizing it feels so fantastic because it's not just taking control again, it's actually having taken it to the next level, so things can be easier and better for you in every way. So that on 5, you'll realize you'll awaken in the morning with an inner warm glow of confidence, a renewed optimism to life, a more positive attitude to get things done. And you realize that from this moment forward, every day in every way, on the count of 6, it's almost as if with every breath you take, every noise you hear, every word you say, and every thought you think, that it positively reinforces your self-confidence, your self-image, your self-control, your self-love, your self-respect, and every factor of you, the real Anne, is positively transformed just by virtue of living in the moment and enjoying life. On 7 and 8, lighter and brighter, almost as if every nerve, fiber, tissue, and muscle in your body, from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers, is being washed with pure spring water, revitalized, re-energized, feeling so good. As on 9, starting to come back to the here and now. It's almost as though we've installed a kind of antivirus software for your personal desktop computer that can protect you in every way. As you start to become more aware of normality around you on 10, when it feels right for you, there's no rush, but you can just allow yourself to come back. And yeah, you'll probably need to rub your eyes a little bit, as you know, because it does. And you can be back with us right here, right now, Anne.
I couldn't open my eyes at 8 and 7. I tried to open my eyes and I couldn't. Whoa. Wow, that was really, wow. That was really, I saw 3 levers, and one of them was order and disorder, because I'm messy. I'm not even going to let you see the rest of the office. Simplicity and complexity, and the other one was focus and unfocused. So I had 3 levers. I whacked them right up.
Excellent.
They were down, but it is. I think it's. I've just got too many things going on, and it is simplicity, focus, order. Yeah, rather than having messy stuff around me. And then I've got like lumps of wood that fitted, and I whacked them in with a hammer. But that ain't coming. I really whacked them. I don't know how I reacted on it, but I'm like,
there were some noticeable. Anyone who watches, if you didn't notice straight away, watch this video again. Pay particular attention to the micro expressions in Anne's face, because it's obvious that she's thinking or doing something. When you see a face suddenly go, you can tell something's happening.
Yeah, I bashed them in. It was like wedges of wood that fitted perfectly. And I whacked them in like a mallet thing, and they ain't going anywhere. That was great. And I locked my door and I've got my key. Yeah, that was really, my eyes are watering where that was really deep.
Well, that's, as you'll know, that's completely normal. Normally at this point, we'll tell clients, you know, you might need to go and just a bit of water on your eyes to give them a bit of a reacclimatize. It's not a negative side effect of hypnosis or whatever you want to call it. It's just the fact that you've spent some you time, quality time, which most human beings, and that's one of the most valuable. That is the valuable thing that we do as a therapist. We help give the person that safe environment, permission to change and an excuse to change, because when they go away and do what they could have always done for themselves, truly, if people say to them, well, Dave, why didn't you just stop smoking before then if it was that easy? Well, rather than having to go, yeah, well, I could have done, what an idiot daft me, and feeling bad, and then ultimately ending up, because they feel bad, starting to smoke again or starting to take drugs again, so-called relapse, because they want to prove that they weren't daft and stupid. So they relapse to prove it wasn't that simple. By going and seeing a therapist, going through an important seeming ritualistic process, they can leave. And then when Dave's asked by his family and friends, wow, you don't appear to have touched drugs in weeks, how have you managed that? Dave can go, well, I've been to see a therapist. And the worst they can do to try and attack him is go, why didn't you do that sooner? But Dave's got a safety blanket. He can say, well, I didn't know about this therapist until recently. So they can't be blamed. And that is why then there's more chance of people not relapsing when they get help from someone who knows what they're doing than just doing it themselves. But it doesn't mean that the person couldn't have done it themselves. Some people do. Some people are strong enough to go, that's it, I'm not taking drugs anymore. I
wouldn't have stopped smoking without hypnosis. I would not have stopped. I wouldn't have. I've tried loads of times. I'd go stir crazy without a cigarette. Hypnosis I've used effectively. That was great. That really was great. I've been hypnotized by probably the 3 best, classed as 3 best in the world. If you were to pull out the names, I've been hypnotized by them. That was really, really good and really effective. And I can feel the levers. I love that. That's really good. Look, you got a special offer for my people.
Yeah.
If I have a link, I can put it in, because this will go on YouTube and on my Facebook pages. I can put the link in. So if you
we're going to put an information link that I'm going to give to Anne that will be below the video. That information link, if you go to it, Law, it will give you information about what's in the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp, what the benefits are to you, the fact that you will never ever need to spend another penny ever again, guaranteed. The fact that I guarantee this with a quantifiable guarantee that when you join the bootcamp, so long as you take action, which we've already talked about, and put into action the marketing, advertising, publicity, promotion advice I give you, you will guaranteed earn at least £12,000 United Kingdom sterling, or your country's equivalent, more bottom line profits, not turnover, so that's after your expenses, more profits than you did in the 12 months from joining than you did in the 12 months previous,
Yeah.
or I'll give you all your money back.
Right.
Simple. Because you can't fail as long as you take action. The only way you can fail is if you don't get off your backside and do something.
Yeah.
So we'll tell you about all the benefits to you, what's in there. It links to testimonials. You'll see famous name television weight loss experts like Steve Miller mentioned there. You'll see mention of the fact that, I've been an advisor in the past to the television life coaches, the Speakmans, who use my complete mind therapy treatment script for their Key to Your Mind CD. You'll see a lot of stuff that looks like bragging. It's not meant to be that. It's to prove to you that I've done this in the real world, and therefore what I'm teaching you is not some outdated theory that, sadly, as we spoke about, most courses are. But the cost, if you were to go from that link, it could cost you anywhere from 500 quid to £5,000. People have paid £5,000 for this package before to buy everything individually, separately from all my websites. And it's not just stuff from me, by the way. You get stuff from 15 other world-class trainers in their field. And you can earn up to, and I say earn up to because you've no obligation to study everything. You go for the things that you like, but you could earn up to 24 accredited qualifications that are approved, endorsed and accredited by the United Kingdom Board of Clinical Hypnotherapy, the International Practitioners of Holistic Medicine, and a whole bunch of other places at no extra cost. They're all in there. You literally never need anything else. But if you go to the information that will be below this video and contact Anne directly and go, send the video with you, Anne and Alex or Jonathan, whichever you want.
But look, I'm gonna wrap it up. But this is great, and I feel really good. I genuinely feel really good and focused. I'm dying to go and sort out that other side of my office that you're not allowed to see.
Excellent.
I am. I kind of keep getting an itch over it. This is great. It's an amazing offer. I'm really chuffed because I had people ask me about hypnosis and where to learn, and I don't want. There's so many bad trainers out there, and bad courses, or really overly priced. And I see people taking their life savings, then coming back, and they can't actually go out there and do the work. So, yeah, I have the Elite Bootcamp course of yours. I do dip into it. I've learned a lot, even though I've been around a long time. I have learned. There's loads more for me to learn from it. I will continue to dip into it. But yeah, thank you. We'll bung a link on below. We'll have the link there for a month. And yeah, if you want to learn hypnosis,
and if it's after that date, although you should take action really the moment you've seen this video, but if you see this video after that date in September, still message Anne and she'll know whatever deal I'll do for you then. But I will tell you that if it's after the 17th of September, it won't be as ridiculously special as this, but I will still extend a deal to you people, guys and girls, who contact Anne and say, I want to join the bootcamp. I'll still extend a deal that's better than you'll get elsewhere, but it won't be as good as it is now. Now is the time. You'll be able to earn that back with one therapy client. And if you sat there thinking, hang on, I don't earn 297 quid for a therapy client, and believe me, you need the bootcamp. Because it will show you how to get clients who will happily pay you £500 all day long.
Brilliant. Superstar. This has been so cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you for asking me.
It's been good fun. It's been because a few people have asked, and people are short of money and they need to learn stuff, and they're running around doing a lot of odd courses with weird names that aren't teaching them anything. So I thought I'd just come to you, and you've got it all there packaged. So superstar, thank you so much. I'm going to dip in and learn a few more things. So take care. Thank you. I look
forward to speaking. Hey, so there you have it. What you're waiting for, go to www.ultimatehypnosiscourse.com or www.htglive.com. Check out the testimonials from people around the world, hypnotherapists, psychologists, television life coaches, people you'll have heard of, people you won't have heard of, but people from all areas, from medical GPs, psychologists, lay hypnotherapists,
you name it, people praising and saying that the training materials and courses that I supply are the best in the world. Go and take a look at that. Look at the links and the videos that you'll find on ultimatehypnosiscourse.com, and bear in mind that you will get inside the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp access to everything I've ever released over the past 30 odd years, together with stuff from 15 other world-class trainers, and the ability to earn up to 24 world-class accredited mind therapy diplomas, and to get your hands on business building tools and stuff that, if it was all bought individually, would cost you well over 15,000 United States dollars, well over 11,000 pound United Kingdom sterling. But you can get it all together as the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp for just 4,997 United States dollars when you order it direct from me through ultimatehypnosiscourse.com. But as a friend, customer and colleague of Anne Jirsch, contact her via the details below this video, and you can get lifetime membership to the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp at a tiny fraction of its current special offer price, and a tiny fraction of the worth and its value to you. I mean, literally, you can earn back your investment with 1 or 2 therapy clients. And as detailed on the ultimatehypnosiscourse.com, comes with a full 1 year, 100% satisfaction money back guarantee. A guarantee that clearly states that from studying the bootcamp, you will earn at least £10,000 sterling or 10,000 United States dollars more profit after expenses in the 12 months from joining the bootcamp, so long as you book the contents to use, than you did prior to joining it. So it's a no-brainer, really. Check out the details below this video, contact Anne, get your special offer, and I look forward to welcoming you to the bootcamp soon. Bye for now.